I've been able to become a top 1% producer with 125 million streams and 9 top 50 records. And in this video, I'm going to walk you through the 5 habits that I did every day for 5 years that helped me get there so that you can just copy me. Now, habit number 1 is to make beats and do it a lot. So, skill is the entry fee to this game. If you're not good, nothing else is gonna matter. So think of it like this: you can do all of the networking, post all of the content, but if nobody likes what they see or hear, you're not gonna get anywhere. So if you're just starting out and you're like a year or less in, don't even worry about a career right now. All you gotta focus on is getting good. And the way that you get good is by staying consistent. Consistency beats talent. I started music at a young age, but when I started when I was like 11 or whatever, I was practically tone deaf. I remember practicing the guitar, I couldn't hear the right notes, and my parents were almost worried about me because I sucked so bad. But I stayed consistent. I learned the guitar no matter what. I refused to not learn it. And then I went into producing, and I learned producing by making music every single day. And that applies to more advanced producers as well. Make beats every day, even when they suck. Because half of the time you don't even know what's good. Second of all, it's the bad days that create the good days. So stick with it and keep creating even when things are bad. And this is a long-term play. If you go into this thinking that this is going to be some kind of quick cash grab, or that you're just going to sell beats and everything's going to be fantastic, like, you're coming in with the wrong mindset from the start, and this is going to be incredibly hard. So this is a long-term game, and this will probably take way longer than you think. When I first started, I thought, oh, this is going to take a year. It took 5. I would say that I wasn't super focused all the time, but 5 in total from the day I decided to get serious to the day that I actually made a career from it. So this takes way longer than you think. And reps are what separate the amateurs from the pros. If you get the reps in and you do this every day without expecting anything back at first, then you're gonna crush it. So that's habit number 1, which is to make a lot of beats and get really good and comfortable at the skill of making beats. And by the way, if you want a copy of this Google Doc and learn more about becoming a top 1% producer, I'm sharing it for free inside of my community. So let's go ahead and check out the community. Here it is. We've got guys sharing resources. People are getting wins. Everybody's just networking, connecting, collabing. It's a great time. So back to the value. Now, habit number 2 is to make beats the market actually wants. Now, with that said, your creativity matters, sure. But once you want a career, it's not just about what you want to make and what you feel like. Your beats basically become a product. And just like any product, you can't just force a product down people's throats that nobody wants. That's why companies do market research. That's why they field test products to find a product that best fits with people. That's why you see McDonald's trying out new burgers and then scrapping them because nobody wanted them, right? Same thing with your beats. Like, if you want to make this a career, you need to approach this with more of a business mindset than just your creativity. Because if you just want to be creative and have fun and make music all day, then you can just do this as a hobby. But if you want to make this a career, you'll have to adjust a little bit to the market, that you can join what you like doing together with what the market wants from you. So the way that I did this was by studying the top 50 charts. So basically Billboard, the top 50s on Spotify, and just hits overall. And the way that I did that was mostly just active listening. Sometimes I would use them as references too. That's definitely something I could recommend. But most of the time I would just spend time, 60 minutes a day, just listening to these top 50 records and understanding what it was that made them so good and understand why people actually like them. So what I usually listen out for that I would then apply to my own music was sound selection, chord progressions, and the drum patterns, and also the BPMs and tempos. Because those are really the key things that builds a beat, right? And then by listening to that and understanding what works I was able to apply that to my own music and then make beats that people actually wanted and the market actually appreciated. And that's why I was able to make 9 top 50 records, like charting records, back to back. So basically, I spent 60 minutes a day, chord progression, tempos, drum patterns, sound selection, figured out, okay, and then I would ask myself every time I listen to these songs, like, okay, what patterns do I hear? What reoccurring instruments, what reoccurring chord progressions, what reoccurring drum patterns and tempos do I see come back over and over again on the charts? And then also, I would ask myself, why do people like this? Then I would start doing that in my own music. So you just want to learn why certain beats work and then apply it to your style. Now, this is also a thing that you need to do daily because music changes all the time. You can't do this once and then think that you have it figured out, because you don't. Music changes all the time. And that's why you want to do this on a daily basis so that you understand what's going on and you can stay on top of your game. Habit number 3, network relentlessly. So opportunities comes from people using your music, not you sitting at home. And this is one thing, like when I say 5 years, I probably spent 2 or 3 years just sitting at home, not getting my music out. Then of course, what's gonna happen? I'm gonna stay stuck. And I done this mistake, I see countless of people make it. And I think that now people have an idea that they need to network and they need to get stuff out there. But I just think they don't know how much of it they need to do, how consistent they need to be with it, and how little they can expect from it in the beginning. Because early on, nobody is going to want to work with you. And that's completely normal. So the thing about networking is that the more credits, proof, and stuff you have to your name, the easier networking gets. So the messed up part about that is that when you're just starting out and when you need networking to work the most, that is when it's not going to be working very well for you. So how do you get out of that? By just being relentless and hard-headed about it. So as I mentioned, nobody wants to work with you in the beginning because you have no social proof, you have no credits, you have no mutual followers. You're just going to be a random producer and they're going to be like, who is this guy? I don't care. And that's why the way that I do it, the way that I help others do it, and the way that I see work the best is to start with smaller artists, alternatively, small songwriters, A&Rs, managers, etc., connected to bigger artists. And by doing this, you will get in the right circles, get to know the right people, and physically and figuratively, that's the word, you will both physically and figuratively be put in the right rooms. So that will then create a snowball effect that will allow you to network easier and easier. So basically, all you want to do here is to build a high leverage network of producers, writers, artists, managers who are all connected to bigger artists, and then eventually that will get you to the big artists. So start with small artists. What I did personally was just go to Instagram, look at the people a big artist follow those people, message them, provide value, be genuine about it, and build real relationships with them. So that's how you network. Now, with that said, this is also something that you need to do daily, because you might do this for a month. You're probably not going to see much come out of it. Maybe some people respond. Will they use your beats? Nobody knows. But this is one of those things that when you do it for a month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, then you start seeing the results for it. And the more you do it, the more results you get. Because the more you do it, you're going to start getting these opportunities. You're going to start building your social proof. You're going to start building your network. And then things are going to start rolling. And that's how you get the snowball effect. So this is something that you want to do daily. Ideally, block out time to do this task and take it really, really seriously and just do it every single day for years. Now, habit number 4 is to make actual songs, not just beats. So songs are what move your career forward for real, not only beats. Because what is the goal of a beat? The goal of a beat is to become a song. And if it's not a song, it's actually pretty useless. Sure, you can sell $30 releases, but how many of them do you need to sell before you actually make any actual money from this? A lot of them. So you want to focus on making songs, as I mentioned. Now, there's a lot of different ways to make sure that your beat becomes a song. Of course, you can just send out beats to artists until they use them. You can send out loops, you can send out MIDIs, starters, whatever. You can send stuff out to make sure that they become songs. And my personal favorite, get in the studio and make the song happen yourself. So the way that I did this was that I literally built my own studio. Was it fancy? No. Was it really cool looking? No. But it did the job. And that allowed me to get people in there when maybe they didn't have a studio or they were visiting my city. I could just get them in and make a song happen. So having a studio helps. Having access to a studio helps. So if you can get a studio anyhow, it really helps a lot. However, if you can't, or if you're overseas, whatever, it's fine. You can make it work anyways. My first record to hit the charts, I wasn't in the room for that. So you can make it work anyways. And then you just focus on sending stuff out. But here it's like you can send stuff out, then ask for the song back, and then make edits to it. You can mix it, you can master it, you can do everything with the song to make sure that song actually happens. And another note on this is that when you're making beats for artists, think of it as if you're making a song. You want to think, okay, what kind of beat can I make this artist that would make him or her make a great song? Not just like, oh, this is a cool beat, I love how it sounds. Doesn't really matter. Because you can have a mid beat, according to your opinion, because music is subjective, but you can have a mid beat and then you get the right artist on it and all of a sudden it's a great song. So it's not just about making good beats, but making good songs. And then when you're working with people, figure out what kind of beats do they want, what beats do you think that they could make a great song on, and then give them that. The thing about songs is that when you make a song, you get paid in multiple different ways. You get publishing, you get upfronts. You can even, like if you're working with bigger independent artists, it can even be beneficial to have royalties on the master, like the actual Spotify royalties, whatever. You can get royalties from that. You also, of course, when you release songs, you get the credits, and that gives you the leverage to then make more. So yeah, bottom line here is to think like a producer. How do we make the best song possible? Now, habit number 5 is something that I neglected a lot, and it always came back to bite me in the ass. Pause. But you want to take care of your health daily. Because think of it like this, you're the engine of this entire operation. You're the one that's going to make this work. And if you don't work, you can't make this work. So you want to protect the engine. And this doesn't have to be advanced, but I don't know, take a walk, like an extended walk of 1 hour walk a day. And to be honest, this is not something I'm great at myself, even till this day. But it always comes back to haunt me. So take a walk, lift some weights, try to get proper sleep, eat food that isn't just frozen pizzas out of the microwave. And I'm guilty of doing all of these things, especially when I was really grinding with music. But it all affected my creativity, focus, networking, energy. It all affected that negatively. And all of these things are needed to make a great career in music, and they all start with your health. So take it seriously. And I would say that the younger you are, you can get away with this for perhaps a couple of years. Like if you're, I don't know, I'm no doctor, but if you're like 16, 17, 20, I felt like at least at that age, I was basically invincible. I didn't need to sleep. I barely needed to eat. I could just do shit. But I swear this catches up. Like I'm 27 now. I mean, it's not crazy old, but still, I can't do that anymore in the same way that I could before. And if you focus on taking care of your health daily, that makes all previous habits easier. So take care of your health, do whatever you need to do. If it's a walk, if it's just lifting some weights, going for a run, whatever you need to do, try to do at least 30 minutes. You could just do some push-ups on the studio floor. Anything really. Try to do at least 30 minutes a day and you should be set. So the summary here is that success comes from simple habits repeated daily, not complicated strategies. There is no magical strategy to make this work. Yes, you can do things well, bad, and there's less effective strategies and there's more effective strategies. But nothing will lead to overnight success. Absolutely nothing. Everything will take time, and you need to put in a lot of effort for an extended period of time to make this work. Then focus on making songs that people want with the people who can move you forward. So try as best as you can to work with people who are connected to bigger artists so that you can get there, and strong up and coming artists that have a buzz, that have some motion. Focus on that and make great songs with them. And then lastly, stay healthy enough to show up consistently.